Hello, Facebook user. Nice to see you here. Yes, last week was a bit epic, wasn't it? We had a whole week of speakers and guest expert speakers, and I did a few demos as well. It was action-packed. And then it was the Easter weekend, so I hope you all had a lovely Easter weekend. The weather's not been too bad, actually, has it? Patio doors have been open, cats been coming and going out the house. That's what they love. But the weather, at least down here, down in the south where I am, near Easterbourne, is looking, and I'm looking at my window, so I'm looking over there, is looking quite nice for this week, which is always good, isn't it? It always makes you feel slightly better when the sun's out and, things are nice and sunny and the sky's blue and the birds are singing and all that kind of stuff. So, do say hello if you're here. It's nice to see if you're here. I've just looked at my hair and it's shocking. I'm having one of those indoor kind of days today. I've got a couple of wedding cakes next week, and one of them is a full sugar flour jobby. So I've been sitting here on my dining room table, which is why I'm downstairs today. I'm just making sugar flowers and leaves. I've just done half a ton of eucalyptus leaves, and of course each leaf has to be wired separately, and then they once they're all dry, they're all put together. So it's painstaking, but I put something to watch on my laptop while I'm doing it. Have a lovely time. It's quite nice. It makes a change from all the other stuff that I usually do, so it's rather nice. So this evening, I said I'd give you a few hints and tips about Instagram Reels, because last week they were mentioned a couple of times, and some of you said, I've got no idea where to start with Instagram Reels. So I thought I could sort of give you a little springboard to at least start off. I'm not by any shape or form an expert in this, but I know the basics, and I know a couple of things that are useful to know about using Instagram. It's a really powerful tool, particularly at the moment. Reels are being really promoted. The algorithm of Facebook and Instagram, the algorithms mean that even if you've got, say, 1,000 followers and you post something, a very small percentage of those followers will actually see your post. But with Reels, it's higher. It's generally thought that Reels get you a bigger reach. So it's worth having a go and persevering, because the more you do, you do speed up at them, and you do learn a few little, hints and tips to speed up, so that you can sort of get one out in a couple of minutes, which is quite useful to do. So I have my phone here ready, as my daughter's there, and I've recorded a couple of little videos today, because I thought I'll try and show you live how I would put it together in a reel and then upload it. Okay. And I'll try and talk you through another couple of things that I've learned recently as well, which are really useful. So we go into Instagram. Okay, so here's Instagram here. Okay, now, as we know, or hopefully as you know, I'm in my sugar bloom box, because that's the video that I recorded today, so that's why I'm here. On your homepage, you've got your profile there. Okay, and you've got your link. Make sure you've got a link in there, just a little hint. Then if people are interested in your Instagram post, they can then go to your link. I have what's known as a link tree, if you can see that. And if you click on Linktree, in fact, I'll show you. If you don't know Linktree, this is quite useful. So if people click on Linktree, hopefully, once it loads, oh, hang on, accept. What Linktree does is it gives you a whole, for Sugar Bloom Box, there's only a couple, but it gives you different links. So on my wedding cake one, I've got, I think I've got things like contact me, my website, my Facebook account, my this, my that, the other. So there's a whole list of things that they can access from the link tree. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that for now. That's just a by the by. Now, the first thing really to, oh, hang on. It's going to be an evening of this, by the way. Oh, it's telling me no internet connection. That's right. It's just being belligerent. The first thing to know when you're setting up your Instagram is, first of all, you need a business account. If you have a business account, you get these things, which are insights. Now, if you go to the little lines in the corner, often referred to as the burger, those little lines there. If you click that, you will get this menu. And if you go to, can you see insights, fourth one down? Oh, hang on. No, it's not going to give me that. It gave it to me earlier. It's not going to do it now. Oh, there we go. It's doing it now. It's being slow. Now, your insights give you all sorts of data about your account. So it tells me how many accounts I've actually reached, how many accounts have actually engaged with what I've done, and how many total followers. And it tells me, look, I've got so many more. I've reached that many more accounts compared to last week. And this is because I've been putting a few more reels on and things. Okay, so it's really useful, these insights. And if you scroll down, you get all sorts of more information. So have a look at that. If you haven't looked at your insights yet, have a look, because it's quite useful. And you can look at what different posts do. So once you start putting up different posts and different reels, you can have a look at the different ones and see which ones have a better reach, because that's useful. Because if you know which ones people engage with more, then you can do more like those. Okay, that's basically what we have. Right. So I think if you've not done reels before and you're a complete reels beginner, I think the place to start is to look at other people's reels. Okay, because if you start looking at what's there already, first of all, you can get sort of the idea of what it's all about. Secondly, you can get a few ideas. When I first started scrolling through the reels, I could see a couple of, I could do one like that with my cake, or I could do one like that with one of my roses, or, you know. And the third thing that you can do, of course, is to save the music and the audio. And you'll see what I mean by the audio as we scroll through some of the reels, because some of the audios can be really useful. Okay. Now, something else I learned recently was, if you want to access lots of really good music for your reels, then what you need to do is you need to set up your profile as an entrepreneur. If you do that, you get access to lots more music. And let me show you how to do that. So you go to your edit profile there. Okay. And you get all this malarkey, all the different things that you put in. Now, can you see category there? In category, you click on that, you get loads of different sort of options there. And I think to start with, with my Leading Lady Cakes one, I'd put in baker or something like that. But that gives you virtually no access to any music. So someone who knows about these things said you need to go to entrepreneur there. And if you're on there, and don't forget to press done, otherwise it goes back to what it was. Once you have that, you get loads of access to really good music. Not only really good music, but what's known as trending music. So I'm gonna speak in words of one syllable here. I'm just going to assume you know nothing about these. Okay, so pardon me if you do know about it. But the trending music and the trending audio are what the algorithm likes. So if you use a piece of music or an audio that is very popular, the chances are your reel is going to be seen by more people. That's basically what it is. Okay. So to look at reels, if you see at the bottom here, you've got 5 sort of buttons here. Now, if you press the middle one, what you get are lots of different reels. And these are based on what you look at on your phone. It's the algorithm. The chances are for most of you, you're going to get cakey ones because that's generally what's going on your phone all the time. Okay. If you tap it again, generally you get sound. There we go. All right. And as you scroll through, I'm just going to turn it down though, because now, can you see this is an example of an audio rather than music? It's like a spoken soundtrack, and lots of people in reels, and I've done it recently, and it's great fun. You do a little video to lip sync along to someone's sound. Okay. You see, and you can just scroll through and you get all sorts of different ones. This is a trending one, this sound. You hear that? Now, when you are looking through these and you see one and you think, oh, that's a good one, I like that idea. What you need to do, can you see the 3 little dots down the side there underneath the paper aeroplane? All right. If you click on that, you get that menu. Oops. And if you save it, okay, I'll show you where to find that in a minute, but it's saved now, so you can keep that. Now, as you're scrolling through, if there's music or an audio that you like this one, underneath those 3 dots, yeah, there's a little sort of square picture. Click on that and you get this. And what it does there is it tells you what that music or that sound is, and it gives you a whole load of other reels that have used that sound. All right. Now, the important thing here is to press save audio. Okay. So I've saved that now. All right. And I'll show you where I'll find that in a second. Okay. So those are the reels. So your first job really is to start having a look through those and getting some inspiration for some of the reels that you might be able to create. Now, some reels are little videos and some are made up of different photographs. So, for example, I've done a couple of some of my different wedding cakes. I found some really good music, and I've put them in, and I'll show you, if I should have time to show you how to make the photograph last a certain amount of time to match the music, match the changes in the music. Okay. Oh, and the other thing I was going to show you, I don't know if there's any examples, but as you scroll through, I'm going to see if there's one that does it for me. Yeah, you'll get this type of thing which is called a tutorial reel. And what these do is they'd say the length of time that each photo should to match the music. So when you put your 7 photos on, you know that the first one you put to 1.65, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But these types of reel are really useful to get some ideas and to get to get some different reels done. Okay, so now to actually do the reel itself, there's 2 ways of accessing it. The first one, you see the plus sign up there. If you click on that, you get, what do you want to make? Do you want to do a post, a story, a reel, or a live? So you can either click that reel on that one, or if you swipe right, oh, it's not going to do it now, is it? Let's see if it'll do it. There we go. You get that screen. Okay. Now, can you see at the bottom, you've got story, reel, live. And actually, if you scroll over, it's on reel because I was doing reels earlier, you've got post. So you can go post, story, reel. And obviously if you're doing reels, you want to be on reel. Okay. Now, you want to perhaps use some of the sound that you saved from scrolling through the reels. So to access it, see the little little quavers up there, little music. If you click onto that one, this comes up. You can search for different things. So if you want to do a track with something specific in it or a certain type, you can search for it. Or if you go to saved, there are the ones that you saved. Okay, so all your audios. So when you click through your reels and you went, oh, I like that sound, I like that sound, I like that music, that is where it keeps it for you. Okay, so it's in there. And you can see I've done quite a few there. Yeah. Right now, what am I going to do? Oh, yes, I'm going to actually create a reel here now. So I've sort of set it up. I've got everything ready. I'm just going to show you the process. So I'm just going to get rid of that. Oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get rid of that. There we are. So I've gone into my create a reel screen. Okay. I'm going to my audio. So I'm going back to where I was just now, actually. And I'm going to go to saved because the audio I'm going to use is this one. Now, if you press on the little go button there, it tells you what it is. So it can remind you. But if you want to actually use it, you just press on there. Okay, so that's the sound I'm using. And down the bottom, if it's a really long, track, you get the option to choose a different piece of the music. Okay, so you might want to start your music at a certain point if it's a longer track, because you can search all sorts of things in here. You can search all sorts of music. So yes, I want that one. I'm hoping this is going to work. It tells you how long your clip is. Okay. Now, to actually get the photos on there, if you go down to here, you will get your camera reel. So when you've taken your photos or you've done your videos, they will be on your camera roll. Okay. Now, I'm hoping this is going to work. So what I did earlier, hang on, I need to find which one it is. Is this one? I'm going to put this one in first. So in fact, I'm going to put two videos in because they're going to go together. So I'm going to press the little, can you see up there? That's allowing me to select more than one. And I want to do this one first because that's the first one and that one the second. So you should see a little 1 and a 2. Okay. And then you press next. Now, obviously, if you're using you're going to use some of your photos, press select. You can do up to 10. Okay. If you want more than 10, you'd have to use something like Canva, which will allow you to create a reel with loads and loads in. But I won't get into that now because that'll start to confuse you. So 1 and 2, and I'm going to press next. So what I've got now is the sound that I chose, but it's not synced with my see, I've done my hands, but it's not syncing with the music. So what I want to do is I want to change the video here. Now what you do is you press down on that and you drag it. Can you see I'm dragging it there? Because I want it to start in a slightly different place. Oh, I've almost got it there. Let's try a little bit more. There we go. I think I've got it there. Sometimes it's a question of trial and error, and you have to keep fiddling about with it. But that's basically how you change the start of the video. Now, I actually want the end of this one to be. Hang on. I want it to be where my hand goes up. There we go. Because that is going to link to the next little video that I've got. Right. So I'm going to then add that. Okay. And then that might well work. I'm going to add that because if it's not quite right, I can go back. So I'm going to add that. Okay. Oh, hang on. Yeah. There we go. So you can see I've linked the two together, which obviously you can do. Now, on what you're seeing is ever so slightly delayed on my screen. It fits the music exactly. But you can see it'll keep looping it for you. All right. If you need to change it slightly, just go back to edit clips and it'll take you to the clips and you can click on them and you can change the length of it if you want to there. Okay. But now I'm happy with that now. And I can go to next. Right. We're almost there. What you can do now, and I know lots of people want to do this, is put some text on the top of this. Okay. And to do that, we go to the AA at the top there. Okay. All right. Now, can you see it's got the cursor there? It's saying, what do you want to type? So what shall I type? I'll type wait for it. It is, oh, hang on. Get me typing. My spelling's brilliant. My typing's awful. Wait for it. ... And to change the color, we go up to the top menu there. And it will give us a color menu. Now, as this is Sugar Bloom Box, I'd like to go with green because that's a bit of a color for me. Okay. Play around with these and you'll see you can get it in different formats. You can get different types of font as well. But I won't go into that now. That's something you can play around with. Now you know where they are. Okay. You can also, you can move it around. You can angle it by just using your fingers and twiddling it around. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that there. Okay. Now, what I don't want those words to be after the reveal because it's, yeah, because I want it to disappear. So can you see down here, we've got the little black button there. And that is showing me for how long the text is up there for. Okay. And again, like we did with the length of the clip, you can change the length that the words are up there by pressing down and dragging. Oh, sometimes it doesn't work. There we go. You can drag it back and you can make it disappear. So I want it to stop. Where shall I want it to stop? I'm going to get it stopped there, I think. Okay. And if you have more text, you just do the same. You drag. Okay. It just hides there while you're still in sort of preview mode. It does disappear when you actually do it. Okay. Then you press done. And just a warning, whilst you're doing this, the actual music or the sound that you've used for the reel does really get on your nerves because you hear it over and over again. So this is what my final reel looks like. Let's do it from the beginning again. There we go. The words have disappeared and there's the link to the second video. Okay, so my video is now done. The sound is done. The words are done. You can, if you play around with some of these buttons at the top, you can get sort of all sorts of different filters and different little stickers to put on and all sorts of things. All right, but you can play with those and find out what to put on there. Otherwise, we'll be here till midnight. Then we press next, and then what you get is the screen. What do you want to put under your what do you want to put as a caption? So I will put the Sugar Bloom box. Oh no, hang on, I won't. I will put the sugarbloombox.com. Hang on. Sugar Bloom box .com. And this, of course, is where you put, oh no, it's .co.uk now, isn't it? Putting the wrong address on. You put all your hashtags in there as well. So hashtag the Sugar Bloom box. And when you type it in, it gives you hints as well. It also tells you, if you didn't know, you might know this already, but I'll tell you anyway, just in case you don't, that when you type in a hashtag, so if I put in sugar flowers, it'll tell you it'll give you different options, and it'll tell you how many posts that particular hashtag has been on. Okay, so you can decide, which hashtags to use. I'm going to use that one, sugar flowers. Okay. So there's your reel. There's your comments underneath. If you wanted to tag other people in or show your location, that's all on that page. And then you just press share, and then it's done. And it should be up now. Bear with it. There we go. There we are. And it'll just keep going till you tell it to be quiet. So there we go. So that is basic how to do a reel. Okay. I really strongly recommend that you do have a look at all the other reels that are out there. Okay. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to show you actually, if you go back to your profile page and scroll down and go to reels, you will then see it up there. Okay. And it'll also tell you how many views it's had as well. But one thing you can do is if you click on it and go to the three dots, you can save to camera roll. So you've saved all of that now. And then what I do with that is I then just put the whole of that on TikTok. I'm not sure whether that's the best way of doing it, but that's what I do. So I save the whole thing to my camera roll, and that's with the audio, with the text, with everything. And then I can just upload that straight to TikTok without any more faffing about. Okay. I'm very new with TikTok. My daughters are teaching me how to use it. But it's basically sort of lots of Instagram reels, except it seems to be a little bit more popular to go onto TikTok. So if you can do TikTok as well, you might get more views. So that's basically how it works with Instagram. Okay. There are loads more features in there. I won't even begin to talk about all the other buttons down here, because they do all sorts of other things. And I must admit, I don't have time to investigate them greatly. But there's all sorts of things down there you can use as well. And once you get into the reel, all the buttons will have different effects. In fact, here, if you look at the button here, you can scroll that across. Oh no, it's recording. No, don't record. you can scroll across. Oh, God, hang on. Discard video. No, don't put that anywhere, please. And it will give you different filters. Okay, but play around with it. This is how we learn anything, isn't it? By trying it out and practicing it and doing things and, you know, spending hours on something and then realizing that actually there's a shortcut that anyway, yeah. TikTok, a good site is apparently it's a very popular site, and there are loads of viewers on TikTok, particularly the younger generation, shall we say, being ancient myself. But my daughters tell me that that's the place to be, TikTok. So I try and upload as many as I can to there, but I do it that way. I don't do sort of original ones on TikTok. I just upload ones that I've done via Instagram because I know how to use this. You're very welcome. I'm really hoping this will help you to get started on Instagram, on the reels, because once you've done a few, it can be a little bit addictive, and you start scrolling through. I mean, I must admit, when I wake up in the morning, I lie in bed and I grab my phone and I just look through some of the reels that are going on. And I think, oh yeah, I could do that one. I'll do that one today. And I just need a couple of photos for that one, you know, and it just helps me to realize what to do. And you will hear the same tunes coming up over and over again, and the same soundtrack, because they're trending, because they're becoming popular. And also look, as I said before, look for the tutorial ones that tell you the timings. And some lovely. See, mine are a lot of cake ones and cats. Although not so much cats on this one. On my other one, it's cats, because that's, see, lots of cake ones. There we go. So there we are. I hope that's helped. Do have a go. If you do, tag me into anything you've tried, because I'd love to see what you're doing, get you some ideas. And just go and have a look and practice it and make lots of mistakes, which is what I did. And I'm by no means an expert and by no means perfect at it, but I have had some reels. A lot of my reels sort of get 700-800 views, which isn't brilliant, but a couple of them sort of go up into the thousands. And I do get, followers from them and things like that. So it is worth persevering and having a go at them. And they are good fun, actually. Good fun to do. So there we go. I hope that's been useful. Do let me know how you get on. And do keep an eye on those insights that I showed you as well. Oh, no, Zoe, never mind. I'll pop this in the guides now, my darling, and you can watch it straight away once Facebook's faffed around with it. Give it 5 minutes and it'll be there for you. All right, love. And if you have any questions, I'm not sure that I'll be able to answer them, but it's always worth a try. And there are loads of people in the home baking business community, particularly, who are really good at reels. So if you've got any questions, the best thing is to go in there and ask, because there'll be someone who's much better at it than me. Who'll know what to do. You're very, very welcome. Get those reels going, because it really, really helps with your business. All right. Okay. Have a lovely week. I can't off the top of the head think what I'm going to do next week. Oh, I think next week I'm doing a demo. Yes, I'm going to do some daisies next week. Have I got some here? Yes, I have. Ooh, hang on. I have. I'm going to show you how to make one of those next week. Daisy. We love a demo. So that's next week. Oh, you're doing your website. You got your domain name from my company today. Oh, good. Because you've been working with Katrina, haven't you, Alex? So that'll be really helpful. I'm glad it's been useful. Right, I'm off now to have a nice cup of tea and a bit of a biscuit, as you do on a Wednesday evening. Have a lovely week. I will see you next week. Do join me for my demo, because I love demoing my sugar flowers. Have a lovely week. Have a lovely weekend. Let's pray that this weather stays really beautiful and we can all have a lovely summery time next week. All right. Take care then, my lovelies, and I will see you next week. Bye.